This is the episode number 2 of Dude Awakening.
Fuck yeah. First is the worst, second is the best.
And I am your co-host, Scott, and I've got my co-host, Nick, and our guest. Do you want to go by Joshua or Josh or the Bows? What do you want?
Whatever. I'll answer to anything you call me. Bro.
Okay.
There's gonna be like 4 different nicknames for him while we're doing this.
Yeah. And you know, part of doing the podcast, I think Nick was trying to say this earlier, is that you guys got to call me out if I talk too much.
Right. You want a back and forth thing, you know, try not to go over like a minute or 10.
Podcasting 101. Welcome to the 40-something club of dudes that are finally figuring out how to podcast. We're like, dude, I had to duct tape some stuff together to get this going. But so this is our podcast. I talk way too much all the time.
I feel like your volume's a little hot.
And no, I get louder. I get louder and louder.
Excited. He's all fucking happy.
Hey, bro.
Our best friends.
All right, that's cool.
Yes. Cool. So why don't we talk? So first of all, just bringing back up the topic of what is Dude Awakening. Dude Awakening, and I was saying earlier, is I feel like I'm in a Dude Awakening, where I have been a comedian my whole life. Well, whatever that means. I've been the funny guy in the group where I'm constantly doing funny shit, cracking funny jokes, dumb jokes. Sometimes,
usually,
like
appropriate.
Yeah. I was thinking about this. So just for our listeners, I don't know, probably 3 of them right now, and that's the 3 of us.
I'll send it to my brother.
But just so he knows who we are. I mean, Nick and I have known each other since kindergarten. And Josh has been in that since 3rd grade.
Yeah, and I was gonna add, like, I just remember you being there. I don't remember how.
You've just been there for
us. Like
me.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, I don't remember like this weird phase to where we had to get to know about. So
yeah,
like you're there. We hung out.
It was handball.
I just remember.
It was him.
Hardy and Hardly.
I just remember the first thing I really remember of you was like those hot pink hats that your mom got for your 12th birthday.
Yeah.
I
survived Josh's 13th. It was 13th.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the 80s. We had Maui and Sons watches that had like all the fluorescent designs on it.
I thought she was trying to tell us all that you were into dids.
But I could have been at the time. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't have judged you if you were, Oh, yeah, I totally would have judged you back then. That was the worst thing you could have been in 1990.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
The learning curves.
Yeah. So, the Dude Awakening, I feel like I'm in a Dude Awakening. I've always been the funny guy. And, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know that there's ever been a time, Nick, that you and I have been mad at each other. I know Bows has been annoyed with me a lot of times.
Annoyed, not mad.
No, I think there's been some times where you're like, dude, why am I friends with this guy?
No. Dude.
And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, there was one time that I didn't like you. Genuinely did not like Busby.
Oh, really? Like last weekend?
No. It was when we were younger. It was in elementary school, and you had a half pipe.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't my half pipe. It was my older brother's
house. Yeah.
Yes.
And I never got invited over to go and ride it because Stocks would say like, oh yeah, I went on it with my bike and this shit. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like I never got to go over and do it. And then you're all, come over one day. I was all fucking stoked. Right? And it was gone.
It was destroyed.
It was fucking gone. You you didn't have it anymore. So I remember being like, damn it.
Oh, did I know it was gone?
No, yeah, well, I'm sure
you weren't inviting him over for that.
Yeah, you weren't inviting me over to ride it. You just invited me over, and I was like, "This is gonna be the day." I'm
dude, that is such a me move.
I know. Yeah, I was pissed.
That's such a me move. Just like, bro, I'm thinking every day, like, oh, Nick, he wants to ride this half pipe so hard, dude, but I'm never. Yeah, and then the day it's gone, I'd be like, "Hey, bro, you want to come over and ride my half pipe?" Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Sorry,
it's not here
burned
anymore.
Down.
Yeah, dude. So, I've always been the funny guy, and
tried to be. Yeah.
Well, yes, I'm still trying to be, but it's the one thing that's been constant in my life is loving to make people laugh.
Sure.
And enjoying that, even when I know the joke is really, really dumb. sometimes people tell me that they laugh just because how I'm laughing. It's like they're laughing at me, not with me. They're
You
like,
have an infectious laugh.
thank you.
Yeah.
But so that's something that I've wanted to do my whole life. And for whatever reason, I've never pursued it. Right. And there's a long list of reasons, right? Whether that be, church stuff, whether that be, expectations from family, all of those things, trauma from childhood, just
Fear of failure.
so now I'm at a
Sure.
point in my life. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
fear of failure. Yes, absolutely. And that's still something that I
I
battle
think
with.
everyone deals with that with whatever
Uh,
they're going into.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean that, I talked about that in my first comedy. That's how I ended my set.
Yeah.
Is that voice in our head that, tells us that we're not, I won't do that joke
Yeah.
right now.
Save that.
But,
Good ender.
so that's really the premise of Dude Awakening is what are those things like who, like, I don't know if we have a spirit. I don't know if we have a soul. I don't know. And I don't care.
Yeah.
There's something to us that is unique to every person that's separate from our body or whatever that, we are here on earth to pursue or to give to the world, whatever that is. And there's so many different forces that pull us away from doing those things. And those forces want to pull us in the directions they want us to go. And you see that in politics. I mean, you see that, in advertising. I mean, there are just so many different ways.
Sure.
And so Dude Awakening is coming to a realization of that and finding out who we are and then pursuing that.
Yeah. Identifying the distractions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why am I avoiding this?
And I think that
there's like AA based kind of stuff too. I'm just asking.
No.
Like, is it kind of
there's
follow
somewhat
that?
like that.
Yeah.
yeah. So in AA, I mean, are we having an AA meeting?
No, fuck
Yeah.
that, dude.
But
I did it yesterday.
I'm just asking. Yeah.
we want this to be also a space where it's like, dude, when we were kids, like, did you talk about your feelings? Like, was that an okay thing? And I mean, in my family, it was like dudes are, I was a little bitch if I, would got emotional.
I think that when I think about being a kid, it was like my feelings were like, I feel sick. And that was like the extent of like sharing my feelings with a parent or, whatever, like, oh, I have a tummy ache or whatever. But like, it wasn't like, I really feel like today I'm having a bad day. It was never like that processing at that age. For sure.
I don't remember having that either.
Yeah.
And I think as dudes, especially in our, age group, in our generation, that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Right. And, having talked to Galaviz and, the three of us, as we've gotten older, we've just naturally been more open about that stuff. Like I used to think Nick was a total heartless piece of shit because he was.
There's a few factors I wouldn't say complete, but there were times where we were questioning your character at times, but never lost.
I even told him that the one time where you had it, and I want to say you were with Sean's brother. You were helping me build the deck in the back.
The back, yeah.
And you like left a note, and you're like, you're on your own.
Yeah,
you'd shown up a bunch of times.
Yeah, I was like, bro, you're passed out on the couch again. Come on.
Yeah,
I wasn't passing out. I was nodding out from heroin. Get it right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's way better, bro. That's way better than napping.
Yeah, right. I forgot about that.
It was a solid experience.
Yeah, and I called your mom and I was like, look, I don't know what I can do. I just can't. I can't do it. She's like, I understand.
I got it done though without him.
Yeah.
Pulled it off.
But I've had people, I talked to people about like being, close with you. Cause like we talked about that last episode, like there's a big gap where you and I, not that we were like, not friends or anything, but there was definitely, we didn't hang out. We didn't talk like hardly at all
Hang out with anyone.
for probably a decade. And, I was praising Jesus and doing whatever I was doing, heavy petting with Mormon girls, but I've talked to other people that have been like, I'll bring your name up and they're like, oh, you still talk to that guy?
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, genuinely, I'm like, dude, he's probably one of the most genuine, nicest people that I know now, which surprises me because, but, dude, I mean, that's why your name came to mind when I thought about, who am I going to do this podcast with is because you have had your own Dude Awakening.
Multiple. And we've already kind of gone down that road, which is why it doesn't even, well, in hindsight, I've seen you go through multiple, seen him go through multiple. They're completely different on what we're doing. And it's just like, there's just so much to say. I think we're extremely lucky to have me, you, the three of us, and Jones to know each
Yeah.
other as long as we've known each other and shared all of that or been part of it on some level.
Right.
Not many people have that, dude. Not many people
No.
have that.
It's very rare. It's very rare.
Yeah, and even the friends that like were of that pod group, I feel like they're kind of we're all close, but like I feel like you're saying like the four of us for different dynamic reasons, we've all connected in like really deep ways at different times with each other, you know, on different occasions.
Yep.
And that created this like long lasting, you know, enduring friendship that we're like, okay, even though if we don't speak for a month or two or whatever, we got each other. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's, you know, it is definitely a brotherhood, that's for sure. And I think, you know, I mean, we definitely all are into different things, and you know, we're just bros forever.
Yeah.
So what I got a question for you, Bows.
Yep.
So, you know, I like to give you a hard time.
The smirk coming out. Look out.
I like to give you a hard time about, you know, the license plate that you had in high school, which was JBATR, which stood for Josh Bowser Above the Rim.
Yeah.
And Above the Rim was like,
it was one of the greatest basketball paraphernalia companies.
Yeah.
Not ever.
And not,
Yeah.
Do you still have that, by the way?
No, dude.
What?
Yeah.
I
Get out.
There was one point after, you know, we can talk about whatever, but after, you know, I just went through that like fuck materialism
Cleansing
stuff,
phase.
you know, just like I'm so unattached to like anything physical that I was like, I don't care about that shit. It's not
Yeah.
important. You know?
So that was gonna be my question, is like,
Yeah.
how did you go from above the rim to namaste off this court?
Yeah, right. Seriously, that's a good. I like that. That's great. That's great. I love it. I love it.
Our yoga
yeah.
meditating guru.
Yoga, you know, it's funny because the main thing that like got me out of the whole sports world was just like playing guitar, really, because I was like, I'd broken fingers, I'd sprained many ankles and shoulder, like just injuries at like 19 trying to play Saddleback college basketball with like dudes that were like way better and way taller than me. And I finally had to come to that realization, like, okay, this isn't my jam. So, and I was taking guitar with Sean at the time at Saddleback, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And like as a kid, like going to a Bob Seger concert, 8 years old, I was like, this is rad. Like I love what this guy's doing, you know? And like, so I just kind of like left that whole world in that time. And then I got into like teaching science and outdoors, and I started hanging out with like really granola head people that I were like, these people are fucking weird.
Like Beano.
No, he was even like, you know, more mellow, but like there was like people that I was working with, you know, doing outdoor education stuff. They were like, just got back from Humboldt and all these like places that like were really like granola. And I was still like short hair, straight laced, you know, whatever. And I just kind of started seeing things a little different. Like, oh, it doesn't have to be so like cookie cutter Orange County, like nothing wrong or bad against that, but just like I didn't felt like I fit in, you know, with like I gotta do
The jocks.
Yeah, like I just was like, I'm more than this. Like, yes, I have a physical ability to play basketball and volleyball, and I ended up coaching a little bit.
Yeah.
And I left basketball, but I really heavily got into volleyball coaching. And I was coaching with Oz, one of our Galaviz and I coaches.
That's right.
And
I actually coached with him for like a brief minute.
For a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time where he was almost sober.
Yeah, I was almost sober.
But yeah, I mean, I was coaching for the guys team and then was coaching for the girls team, and then I got married, my first marriage, and we had a baby that had passed away. So that was kind of when I left that whole like world of doing what I thought everybody else wanted me to do.
I will say though, like even when you're doing the whole basketball thing, Letterman jacket, like all that, the character of your personality stayed the same.
Yeah,
I do think that.
Yeah, I mean, I loved hanging out with everybody. Like in high school, like I felt like I could, you know, I was Troy Vatican and that crew, and you know, the baseball people and you know, even all the like anyway, like what was his name?
Jason.
And then the other one that we went to Marco with, a little bit round anyway. Not
round.
There's
round.
And then there's a homeboy. He's a Mexican guy, and he was
Luis.
No, Luis is a bro, dude.
I guess we should start using last names on it.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
I mean, I could bleep them out, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, they're all we love them all. It's
nothing, but, I mean, yeah, we're not talking trash.
No, not at all. But just, you know, like just being able to you know, whatever I was, you know, raised in a house with my mom that was like loving to everybody and took care of everybody and opened her door to everybody. And like, you know, so I kind of like just, if I'm on the street, I'm, you know, living that kind of way as best I can. But of course I can be a dick and have an off day, but
Even then, though, man, I there were times when you weren't even a dick to people that like deserved it. You know,
remember?
I fucked people over that deserved it.
Yeah, and maybe some that didn't.
True, but like but like you didn't. And I mean, it's not like anything I'm like making fun of. Like, why aren't you an asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that never changed.
Sorry.
The character never changed in you. Always genuine. But there's just this transformation. Not extreme, but it was like chill, athletic, stud bows to chilling. I'm gonna grow my hair out. Like seeing the world differently.
Yeah.
And that George Washington hair for a little bit.
It was tight.
You know, founding father cut.
Yeah. Founding father cut. It was a real wig.
Yeah.
But
I think kind of, I don't know, like our high school was different. Like, I mean, there were jocks, I guess, but not like, like, there wasn't really like just people that were like just jocks. You know what I mean? Like, not the stuff you'd see in like, you know, movies in the 90s, you know, where it's like, oh,
like
those are the jocks, these are that. It's like, there was a lot of, you know,
middle ground stuff.
Yeah. You know, like, you know, you had guys in certain groups that were like, oh, those are the soccer player guys. But they're not soccer. They happen to play soccer, but they, you know, whatever. I hated those guys. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, some of my best friends were those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Speaking of sports, so I did a bit last night, the last couple of nights about how, I say the dumbest thing, like, yeah, I say the dumbest things, but also like I make really bad choices and I know that they're bad choices before I make them, but I still do it because I'm like, oh, that's going to be a good story.
See what happens.
That's going to be a great story. You know, it's like
in your head.
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. But that's all that matters to me for the most part is somebody's going to enjoy it.
For sure.
But so, you know, I say stupid stuff on dates, you know, and I'm like, I look like the kind of guy that would say something stupid on a first date, like, oh, you should have seen me in high school. I was the MVP of the junior varsity baseball team. You know, I was the only senior that year. You know, but like, you know, from my childhood growing up, I had an older brother and a younger brother, you know, that were closest to me in age, that were both like Steve was valedictorian. Sean was, you know, I think close to 4.0 student.
Yeah.
You know, I was not. And they were both great athletes and I totally wasn't. Well, I blame it on the fact that my mom breastfed them, but not me.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that's how Sean made the varsity team as a freshman. But it was weird, like when my mom would walk out of the locker room before games. Sean's like, thanks, Mom. She's like, go get him, Tiger.
Don't need Gatorade.
Yeah, it's that Mormon mom breast milk, dude.
That Mormon.
Yeah. And then I wanted to market it. I wanted to market it as a product. You know, I was like, how do you think Mormons stay so young and youthful? It's like Mormon moms like are just pumping out kids for like 15 years. And so that milk's got to go somewhere. You know, it's like one of those cure-alls, you know, that it cures everything. So I wanted to brand this product and call it, the brand 9 Wives.
No.
And like breast milk soap, breast milk shampoo, but I would call it polygamist.
that might catch. That might catch.
Oh man, I'm gonna make a shirt. Yeah, I'm gonna make a shirt or something. Yeah. Also, here's my shirt.
Stand up.
Yeah. So this is one of my other jokes. You can see here. I saw a Tesla Cybertruck. I'm not talking to the microphone. I saw a Tesla Cybertruck that had a handicap decal on the license plate.
That's true.
Yes, I was driving back from LA, and I saw, you know, the Cybertruck, and it's got a, you know, the license plate had the handicap thing on it, you know, and I just thought, dude, that's redundant. Like everybody knows you're driving a Cybertruck. Everybody knows you're the R word. Like, you know, like Republican, right? Like you ever know you're Republican?
Come on.
There's other R words I'd never say. Right. But dude, those Cybertrucks look fucking retarded. They look.
It's true.
They
That's
got,
not the R word.
yeah. I wouldn't call somebody that,
Right.
but a Cybertruck, come on, you could call it, yeah. I'm not going to say the person driving it is that. Yeah, but so that's why I made these shirts. I'll do a plug. Just launched a t-shirt company. It's called Tease Me Daddy Shirt Co. That's TEES Me Daddy Shirtco.com. And we've got the other shirt here too that is from one of our favorite 90s movies.
Yep.
With Gary Busey and
What's that guy's name?
Are you serious?
Keanu Reeves. The scene where he goes, Utah, give me 2. Yeah. So we got those shirts, you guys.
So
Whoever, if anybody's listening to them, you can find them, and we'll put the website.
if Barnett ever listens to this shit, he and I
yeah.
went and saw that movie and stayed in the theater for another showing and saw it back to back because we liked it. So
Nice.
yeah.
It's one of my all-time favorites, dude.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
such a good. I don't know. We can name the movie. It's Point Break, dude. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we be able to
I
name
don't know.
else
I don't know,
movies?
dude. This is
I
my
think everybody
second podcast.
knows that Gary Busey and Keanu Reeves are the
Yeah.
only movie they've been in
Yeah.
Ever.
together.
This is our second podcast, dude.
You
You know?
figure, take it easy on yourselves, guys.
Dude Awakening, episode 2.
When I do Awakening
Yes.
episode 2, but I want to ask Bows.
Yep.
Because the one thing that stood out with one, at least the way I experienced your first Dude Awakening, was character still there, right? Fun Bows still there. Started smoking a little bit more weed, but the spiritual aspect of your life, like that kicked in. I don't want to say overdrive, but it was definitely more intentional.
Yeah, I think there was a time right at like 18, I was really, I was taking science classes and like getting into the whole like evolution and science-based, knowledge of life, and kind of leaving the Lutheran background that I'd had. So I kind of like intentionally like said, okay, Mom, at 18, I ain't going to church anymore, and then I just kind of was like, nah, I'm going to just experience, the earth as the entity of God or whatever it is. And then just kind of focused on that for a while and didn't really focus on any religion. And then I got into doing the yoga world and all that. And then kind of like Busby, you get into it and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is good. This is, it's working, but something's just kind of off. And especially in pulling back from what I was in yoga community for quite some time, it just was like bastardization of like ancient, teachings. And it was like, cherry picking or whatever, the best of all around the world. And it's like, okay, that's in some way that might be more efficient to get someone to a point of enlightenment or awakening or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, like if the people that are leading it aren't on the up and up, then why would I continue doing it? So I've even, metamorphosed a little bit since, we've last really talked about all this, but like, I don't do any, I should say, like meditating in the morning or like what the normal yogi people do or whatever. I just try to be a good person. I like,
You've always succeeded in that stuff, bro.
You've always been a good dude, man.
I just felt like
that one time.
That was that one time at band camp. But no, like I felt like, I was like, oh, I'm here kind of like Buzz, like I'm here to save these people. And I remember when you got back from your mission, we were talking, I'm like, yeah, you were into Mormon. And I was like, yeah, but this thing, man, this is where
Better
it's
than
at.
your shit.
Yeah, I know.
I felt like I had some like, well, I got it over Buzz because he just figured it out, Like, but, like, it was just like, I'm the idiot because I was like trying to be better than, and it's like,
Yeah.
if you try to be better than with your religion, you've lost the whole point of
Yeah.
whatever you're into.
I think
right?
I remember you said something to me back then, and it was like, no, there's no, that's not right. But anyway, you say, no, the Mormon way is the only way to get there. There's only one path and one truth. And I was like, wow, hey,
Right.
go, been indoctrinated much?
Yeah, for sure.
You said something to me that was like, something like there's many paths, to get there. And I was like, okay. And now looking back on it, I'm like, I know I have a lot of friends, obviously, that have left the church like I did. Yeah. And, some of them are bitter about it. And I mean, dude, if you just go into social media, you'll find a bunch of people that are like, trying to tell other people to leave it. And I'm like, I don't, well, for one, I don't know that there is one correct answer. And I don't know what the point of life is. I choose to believe that there is a point to it. and that there is some sort of afterlife or continuation or rebirth. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I believe there's some sort of divine plan or purpose. And I think that the not knowing like what that is like the most important aspect of that is because if we don't know and we're just trying to figure it out, that's like really a true, judge of character and, who you want to be, what you want to do. Right. But yeah, it was funny. I've looked back on a lot of that stuff and thought, dude, I'm such an idiot. But I'm not bitter about it.
Right.
Like I like, I look at that and say, you know what? That's what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only spirituality that I knew. And I was in a place where, I put my head through the window of Freebirds, and the awakening for me at that point was, bro, you headbutted a window at Freebirds in Isla Vista at like 1 a.m.
We're closed.
No, not because they're closed, because I think I was, okay, first of all, I was drinking since like noon.
Right.
I'd been drinking for like 12, 13 hours. Right.
I say 12, 13 days. But.
Yeah. Maybe that too. But I
don't know what the problem about.
Yeah. Well. And I was like, dude, I could have died. And I didn't even have a bump on my head, and I headbutted the window because I think I was like yelling at girls and stuff, just being an obnoxious, loud guy out front. And I, for whatever reason, I thought that guy was looking at me wrong or something. His poor dude sitting inside eating his burrito, probably by himself. And, probably just, looking through the window past me or something. Right. And glass all over his burrito. I hope they gave him a new one for free.
Whatever happened with that? Did you ever get
nothing, dude? I ran away.
It's the first time he ran over 5 miles per hour.
I ran away. Yeah, dude. I took the ball and chain off, dude, and I booked. I booked out of there. They ran through the park, went all the way down to Del Playa Street, and
oh man.
And then I ended up walking all the way around, coming home, dude. And the funny part is, I was so faded when I got close to home. I was like a block and a half away, and I just started sprinting. And I felt my weight like shifting forward slowly as I'm sprinting. And I just toppled over and just ate shit, dude.
You've never shared that before.
Yeah. No,
that's
dude.
The funniest part.
Dude, I just ate it. And then I popped right up and I was like, oh, okay. And then Sean was studying for my, who I was roommates with at the time. He was studying for his last final. And I came in at like 2:30 in the morning. I think I hooked up with one of the Vietnamese chicks downstairs.
I ran all the way here.
Yeah, dude.
I ran all the way home.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's what I knew. That's what I knew was, and I feel like it played an important, good role for me to help me, stay sober and actually grow up a little bit, during that time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What?
I got a question for Bows. So, like, do you think that there was something in your conscience that was always saying some stuff like, "Oh, this doesn't feel right. Should try and check out something else." Like, afraid to question our parents, because I know I was afraid to, even though my dad wasn't really in my life all that much growing up, and my mom was single mom. Our moms were single moms, taking care of us and shit. So I was always like that, out of respect, in a way, like fearful to voice my own opinion, right? So then we get to be a certain age, and it's like, I'm not fucking doing whatever the fuck I want to do right now. I took it a little too extreme. Right. Some people just do whatever, but it's like, when was that conscious decision? What was it? Was it out of curiosity? Was it out of, I want to better myself? What sunk in for you in that moment?
I feel like I was so involved with the church from like the Lutheran church from like 11 or so till like 18. And I would sit by the pastor and light the candles and give the communion and all that stuff. And look, I just want to say, I think Jesus as a human was spot on, right? Super, super righteous dude. What does come after that? That's questionable. And that's what I question, right?
Do you think he turned water into red or white wine?
I don't know about it. I don't know if I can believe all that stuff. I just know that some of the things that he did, at least in the stories and their stories, right? So, and they've been edited. Like the Bible is the most edited book on the planet. So,
just twice.
Yeah. So, so for me, I would be sitting behind the pastor as he was giving his sermon, and I could like hear the words before he was saying them, and I was like, what kind of shit is this that I'm listening? Like, and it was just kind of like, it's kind of like he was going through the motions, and I was like,
You mean like
yeah, going
you
through
mean
the
like he
motions.
had said those same exact words before?
Either that, or I was hearing them telepathy. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it just was like, yeah, this has happened. Yeah, it's redundant. Yeah, so it was like, and then you kind of see like, the money go around, and like, here, put out your, give me money, and I get the business aspect of what churches are.
Sure.
That's a part of it. They should be taxed. That's a whole other part of it too. But I get that's their livelihood in a lot of ways, is support from the congregation. They give support to congregations, so I get that reciprocity. However, I just felt like it wasn't a right fit for me, because I just felt like I could see through.
Bullshit.
Yeah, or just the smoke screen of like, you know, this guy is up here giving you blessings, but we really don't need to have any blessings from anybody to have a fulfilled life.
Mm.
You can glean things from those experiences, from whichever church or, synagogue or mosque, whatever you go to, but I didn't make it my whole life of who I am. I respect people who still are in that faith, my mom and my stepdad, and they're all super into it, and Sean is going to the church now, like, so it's cool if that's what helps you become a better person. Great. I'm not, like you said earlier, and you're not going to tell anybody not to do
Yeah,
it, but it's like,
exactly.
it's there comes a point where each of us, I feel, has to just look at yourself and be like, are you doing this for you, or are you doing this for someone else?
Yeah.
And I was at the point where I was doing it for someone else, and many other else's. Like, it was the pastor, my mom, the sound guy, like all these
You were saying
people,
the same shit last week, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing stuff
Yeah.
for other people.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like I mean, look, the Mormon church is definitely very different than, whatever. All Christian churches are different. Obviously
Right.
the Mormons believe in Jesus Christ.
Which is why they love to fight. It makes so much sense. Yeah, it makes so much sense.
But so, going deep into like Mormon doctrine, so, and people, yeah, no,
Sorry.
but and people give them shit for this, but like Mormons believe that essentially we are like literal offspring of God, right? And because we're offspring of God, like God's desire for us is for us to become like him and her. They believe that there's a heavenly mother and heavenly father, right? And like it's like a divine, couple. Probably it's more like a divine God with like a bunch of
sister
Yeah,
wives.
but-
I mean,
no,
sister goddesses.
Let me ask you this question. But so, from the conversations we've had, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Mormons kind of like gather information as they were kind of moving westward from different cities that they're getting kicked out, and they were like learning it from indigenous folks as well, or like that's a part of a little bit influence?
So I mean, there's a lot of questions there, right? I mean, I did a bunch of research on like, looking at like not anti-Mormon stuff, but like looking at actual factual stuff. And there's a lot of things there. The arguments on both sides are like, on one side, it's, Joseph Smith was divine, he received, guidance and revelations from God.
Right.
And on the other side, it's like, well, actually, he got a lot of these ideas from like the local, like, library that had a bunch of books, and there were like, there's a lot of things, and he was a treasure seeker, and like all of this stuff. But, yeah, I mean, look, dude, you get information from whatever you're around, right? And so, but what I found interesting was that, with that doctrine of like, we're supposed to become like God, and they also believe that, God is all knowing, right? God knows everything, which means God knows what it feels like to sin or to do all of these things. Like and the only way to know everything is to experience everything, right? And so I'm sitting there with like this catch-22, like, one, I've got this like really strict Mormon, like, structure of can't do this, you can't drink, you can't do this, you know what I mean? And it's like, you can't do all these things, and you need to live your life this way. And I felt like it's very constricting, right? And it kept me from pursuing who I am and learning about myself and discovering other things, right? And it's like, I was like, but if I'm like, let's say they're right, that we are supposed to become like God. The only way to do it is by breaking out of the mold and going out and experiencing everything.
Yeah, right. But did you think about that when you were younger in our high school years, when you kind of took a step back from going to church, or was this that adult
I didn't
thing?
think about that, dude.
Yeah.
I think about, I thought about girls, and I thought about, the next party where I was going to drink a 6-pack of beers.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that at all. I didn't really think much of religion until I put my head through that window.
Yeah. See, I, like you, I stopped going to church regularly and all that stuff. I want to say regularly.
We got your confirmation with CCD
Done.
that stuff. I remember
Done
that.
at 8th grade, done.
Yeah.
And never went back to being a practicing Catholic whatsoever.
Yeah.
Way too many questions. So the younger phase was like, I want to go hang out. No. Younger phase of you is, I just want to be a fucking teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
Like have fun with my friends and all that kind of shit.
I mean, there was all like the church indoctrination when I was a kid, which left, a lot of, stuff in my head, whatever, that I had to get rid of. But, and a lot of it was good too. Like, I can't say that it was all bad. Like, there's a lot of beautiful things about Mormonism that I think are rad. I think I love it, and I have friends that are Mormon that, are going to be forever, most likely. And
besides polygamy?
Yeah, that's the only. I told my mom that I was going to do a bit about how I think that's the only way Mormons got it right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, sorry, I got daughters.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, dude,
Just kidding.
There's a lot of that, but I didn't think about that at all. I didn't think about that at all. So I'm curious, Josh. So for me, we talked about this when I hit you up to come on this podcast, last weekend or whatever. And we dropped the word cult, and I don't know. I could look up the definition of cult, but whatever. I mean, people use it differently, but when you think of cult, you think of like,
leader.
One leader or two leaders or whatever. Like sometimes it's a couple. Yes.
Yeah. Fucking wake up.
And it's like, they're literally separating you from your family and your loved ones. Literally. And they're not,
unless the family is within it.
Sure. But anybody that doesn't also subscribe to the cult, right?
Kind of look down upon. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I've heard other looser, descriptions of it, which would put in the Mormon church. And I think realistically, if you got really loose with the term cult, you could put every single religion into it. Yeah. I've heard you talk about, MAGA being a cult, or, the woke, yeah, sure. AA. All of those things. Right. But I know you have your own experience with a group that, I'm not going to call it a cult, but, I'm really curious because I don't know any details about it. I'm not going to say any names or anything, but this is involving the like yoga where you laugh. Is that where you guys got that from?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I really love
laughter yoga. There's like a specific. The guy that does laughter yoga.
Okay.
He's
okay. So it's not the laughter yoga.
That guy is like, he doesn't give a two shits about anybody. He just wants you to laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was kind of cool, and actually,
it's really cool. Yeah.
I really liked it because I know that I'm like going on a tangent. I didn't know. I really don't know the details of that, and I want to hear about that. But before we move on, I want to talk about the laughter yoga, because every time I went to your yoga classes and you had that in there, it was funny because, you'd be like, okay, we're doing this, and then it's like, okay, now laugh it out.
Yeah.
And most people are like, ha, 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 ha,
yeah.
ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, and I'm going to step away from the microphone. I'm like, and I start doing that, and everybody else starts really laughing. Yeah. Because they're like, who the hell is this guy?
Weirdo.
But there is, like, even me doing that right now, like, I can feel like, chills in my body. Like you feel alive a little bit. And I just remember both you and Lemia would just be like cracking up, because everybody else is like, "Ah."
Yeah.
And then I start doing that, dude, and everybody is just busting up.
Yeah.
And I would
for
think
sure.
that that's the actual intention behind it. Like, don't give me some false little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Were you laughing as hard as Busby?
I mean, I definitely, as a teacher, you try to give a little bit more, but like when I would do it as a student, it'd be like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
But there is like scientifically, there's like this thing called cymatics. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but like cymatics is like the study of vibration and shapes, and like you put a steel plate and then put sand on it and then put a little
Yeah.
oscillator, and it makes different geometric shapes as you go through the frequencies. So our frequency, your frequency that's your healing frequency.
Mine's like 69 hertz or
Yeah,
something
something
like
like that. I think so. Plus or minus one. So whatever you sound, so like humming or singing or whatever it is, like that one does that engages this area, the mask in the singing world. This is called the mask. So it's like when you're really engaging it, whether it's speaking kindly or singing or laughing, like I said, you're vibrating different glands: pituitary, pineal, thyroid, thymus.
How do you find out your actual megahertz, whatever you want to call it? How do you find out that specific vibration, or is it just something that's natural?
Yeah, I think everybody, it's a little different based on our vocal, our box, our voice box, and our parents and our different people we grew up with, and how like when I'm around my brother, we laugh the exact same thing, and that's my half brother. Like, and we grew up like very little bit together, but we have the same voice, we have almost the same laugh. And it's really funny when I'm like, oh, this is a family laugh,
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's whatever it is that your sound is, that's authentic, and even if it starts to be a little fake at the beginning, it becomes more authentic.
Well, yeah,
right?
and that's
Yeah.
how mine was. It was
Right.
definitely fake and forced,
Right.
exaggerated.
Right.
But then even I started laughing for real too, because now everybody else is laughing,
Right.
and I'm like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty funny, I know.
You're just good at
That was a pre-stand-up days.
caring about how much of an idiot you look, and that's
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, that's the whole point of
Yeah.
being a comedian, right? And hence the reason why I got this ridiculous looking mullet haircut is because I like all my.
You lost a bet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
you should take off your headphones so they can really see.
Oh yeah. So
really
it's
good.
just, you can. I mean, it's kind of darkish in here, but
It's
yeah.
like Vaughn from Major League.
Ricky Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning into those jokes right now. I'm leaning into like how much I look like a douchebag. Like I look like, Jackson Teller from the show Sons of Anarchy.
No.
Okay, well this one doesn't work. Yeah,
Shows that guy's a man.
but yeah,
you know if you saw him.
I look like Jackson Teller. Like if it wasn't about it was like about an e-bike gang instead of a motorcycle gang. Yeah, instead of like smuggling guns, or smuggling like naked pictures of your mom, or I don't know, something.
My mom?
Like,
what?
Yeah.
Wait, back to the cult. Come on.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. So
okay. What?
yeah, because now he was bringing up the whole laughter yoga.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think about, like, I don't remember a solid, like, long standing laughter part of yoga, but I know I took the kids to yoga.
It was more just like
you had them laughing and kicking their legs and stuff.
like again, like incorporating sound and movement. So if the sound is healing and movement is healing, why not put them both together, kind of theory.
So is that the same one, or is that different?
It was like, let's say we're doing a hard exercises, the way that we would pepper it in, the laughter would, you're doing an exercise, you're doing whatever movement for a long period of time, or whatever period of time, and then you hold the breath, you get that energy inside, and then you let it go, you release it with the laugh. So that's like whatever so it was just more of like the energetic release and distribution of it from whatever you were just doing.
Because the kids dug it, and then they got to the part where you were doing that rom and om, and they were kind of like,
the tone.
I remember doing these things too, and like rubbing my belly and patting my head or something like that, where I'm like,
I think it was.
I'm like all disoriented. I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Well, it's like like doing brain exercises where you're
yeah.
and
yeah. So back to the cult talk.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to call it cult talk. Whatever.
Yeah.
Your experience,
but you were part of a community that you left, and you.
Yeah.
And I don't really know much about. I don't know why I'm like grabbing stuff. I'm all fidgety. I'm like getting nervous talking about cults. Like are they
your jelly beans?
Yeah. But I'm curious about that experience. Like I want to know how you came across it. I know that you don't want to talk about like names or anything like that,
Yeah.
but I want to know how you came across it, like what the philosophy was, and then also kind of like how you figured out how to, get out of that.
Came across it from just dating my now wife. She was scheduled to do a really extensive program in India that got canceled, and then she ended up going to this other one in New York. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Whatever, who cares? Um, and then she got into it, and she came back. She's like, "Hey, let's check this out." And I was like, my first instincts, and she'll tell you this too, is like, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" That was my first initial reaction to it. And then I kind of like was observing her and like, all right, whatever. And then the opportunity came to go to New York, and I was like, all right, well, let's go to New York. That sounds cool.
Before or after marriage? Sorry.
Before
Before.
we it,
Okay.
we were engaged for 9 years and some long time, almost 10 years, or we were dating rather for 10 years, almost 10 years, and they got married. So anyway, so I got into it kind of begrudgingly, and then they came out here, and we had to go do some things, and so there was a moment where we were at this at a little conference center, and I was in the back just really kind of like over the whole thing, and the whole like it just was really weird. And the person on the lead teacher or whatever was like giving this lecture, and then and I was writing in my journal like, hey, I just want to like just kind of journaling to myself, not taking notes. I'm just like writing stuff like, yeah, I feel like I need to go connect with I have like a very, very, very small Native American heritage. So I was like, oh, maybe I should go check out that, in South Dakota where my grandpa's from, and blah, 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 and maybe become a shaman or whatever. And this guy was like, you want to become a shaman? And I was like, fuck is he talking
Fuck.
to? And he was like, you need to do what's hardest first, and da da da, like all this thing, like just like this like pep talk. It felt like it was directed at me, and I was like, this is some weird shit,
Yeah.
Like he kept on talking, and it made more sense. I don't know if it was the manipulation or me wanting to try it, or
Did he
divination.
hear something, or you think he just like read that in you or
It was
something?
on your fucking
He,
notebook somewhere.
no, I think to this person's credit, I think there is a level of telepathy that he possesses. I think how he has used that over the years has gotten far more.
Oh, so this is like the leader of this
Yes,
community. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
and so I feel my personal experience from observing everything is he got super ego about it, and he just was like, instead of it being about like serving humanity and helping humanity, it was like, look at me, look what I can do, look at my people, look where we're moving, look what we have, look how high end hoity toity we are, and now we're over here talking with these people, and now we're doing this, and it became more about just that person as opposed to like helping humanity. So I got into it obviously before this realization, but we went to a couple retreat centers where I love the area, and I was like, oh, this is rad, I want to go there. So I took the training, and I was like, all right, this is cool. And it was like at that time, like if I'm being really honest with myself, there was nothing else really going in my life,
Yeah.
So I was really kind of, because it was post losing a child and post divorce, and then getting into another relationship, and then now into this whole world. And I was like, well, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And because I love my wife Lemia, I was like, well, let's see what happens. I'll follow you for a little while and see what goes
Do
on.
you think so? Was it providing like a maybe a missing purpose for you that was giving you direction to find that purpose?
I don't know if purpose or distraction might be a better word.
Bored.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I was just like,
And
kind of like,
you're trying to,
this world is so chaotic, that kind of
Yeah.
feeling. And it was just like, well, what can I do that's like not, because during the time that was like, 2006-ish, 7. So I was just like, it was during the Bush wars and all this stuff. And so I just checked out of everything. I was just like, I'm not watching TV. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching anything. Let's just focus on this. And then, you just get into that world, and you're in it. And all of a sudden, I remember in 2014, we were teaching, we were part of a teacher training team. And I was in Mexico, and I was just like, done. And I never went back teaching at that level again. And I'm done. And then it took another 6 years to fully commit to leaving, because we were given insight from someone who was on the inside that was like, this guy's treating you wrong. He's going to do wrong by you. And you guys, just want to let you know that. And so we were like, peace out.
So did you put like a lot of money into this?
No, never.
Where did they?
Because here's the thing: is we didn't. We were living very humbly, like super. Living with either in a cheap place,
Like one pair of
small,
underwear? I know.
Sharing the one pair of underwear. No, it was just we were just
Brushing
very
teeth.
very humble and just eating very simple and not going out, not engaging in the world that I had been like with, because I was a bartender as well before, like before all of this whole world I was a bartender, and like into that whole scene of going to restaurants and partying and going vacations and all that stuff and making really good money, and sometimes I miss that money, but not the bar side of it. But
Yeah.
I make better money now not doing that. But
It's funny because I live in bars now and I don't drink 90% of the time when I'm in them. Yeah.
So anyway, so we get to the point of getting this information, and it was just like, you know what, we got to go. We're out of here. This is too much, because we'd never really put money into it, but our sweat equity was probably, out of the 300, 400 people, we were probably the top 10 in sweat equity, because we were teaching for free, essentially. We were driving places. They would pay for like a flight and hotel, but like that year of 2014, a student came down and he was like, hey, so got to know him, and he was like, so what do you guys make for this, like, to teach? I'm like, oh, we don't make anything. We just get to come down here and teach and stay. He was like, what do you mean they don't pay you?
Did they pay for your travel costs?
Yeah, they paid for flight and food and room and board.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, but
I mean, that's getting paid somewhat,
that's
but yeah,
getting paid, but you're still leaving like leaving everything at home and going. So like,
so
as a professor,
were they getting paid?
oh yeah, dude, the what they would charge for these trainings,
$7, and that.
But then here's the thing: is that
like Belize and all that shit too. You go to different countries.
we just went to Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the only place.
But so they're making a killing off of like the cost to send you down for what, a week, a weekend? How long were they usually, the trainings?
Oh, like 20 something, 25, 28 days.
Wow.
Yeah, we were down in, like, I was in Mexico for like a month.
Okay, so their cost to put you up in Mexico and fly you down there might be $1,500,
maybe.
And they $2,000 maybe something, and they're charging.
But it's also
like kind of like $3 and $5,000 per person.
Wow. And how many people would be in the trainings?
It would really depend. Like, I think at its height in Mexico, it was probably like 50 people, maybe.
Bro, do the math there. We need to start a cult, you guys.
Just in Mexico.
The reason I've been asking you this is because I'm trying to come up with an idea. How can I? Yeah. So, do you want to become a shaman, whatever? I got this program for you. But you want to go down to Mexico and stay there for a month? We'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Bowser, you get paid this time, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'll get paid in pesos.
Oh my god.
But no, so I just and so this guy was like, dude, he kind of brought it to my attention first, and I like I said, I kind of felt this initial like repulsion from the very first time that Lemmy had come back, but it was like, well, it's different than my Catholic Christian background, and it's maybe this is, and I'd always, and Miko, one of our mutual friends, soccer coach, I'd reach out to her when I had first gotten my only divorce, I should say. And she, I remember she took me up to Barnes and Noble, where used to be Barnes and Noble, where where Best Buy is, up in that off of Oso. There was a Barnes and Noble up there. She got me all these like Buddhist books, and that one.
Was she trying to pull you out of it? Is that what was happening?
No. This was before I got into it.
Oh, okay.
So I had just gotten a divorce, and we lost our child. A year or so later, got a divorce. Because I mean, men, like, just to backtrack on that, like when we had to make the decision, because our daughter was born premature, and so she was alive for 12 days. We had to make a decision on that 12th day, because the doctors were like, look, X, Y, and Z, it's not going to be good for her as a living human. So we were like, made the hard decision and, let her pass away. So after that, I kind of like really hit like a mental barrier or a block or a spin out or whatever you want to call it. And I just, like, foolishly, I went right back to bartending, right back into work, didn't have any time to process. And I was like,
yeah, you're just trying
to
push it away and just go on
Yeah.
autopilot kind
And
of thing.
so then like I finally like get the courage to tell my ex-wife, like, hey, I need to go to massage school. And then so that was like 5 months after I think she had passed away. So then flash forward like a year after that, and I was like, I think I need to walk away from this marriage, you know? And then so that's when I reached out to
Because I
Nico.
met this cool chick at
No,
massage school.
long before that. But that was coincidental. But long before that, I felt like I felt like my ex and I we should have just remained really tight friends.
Yeah, well, I
We
think
really weren't,
I think you guys
know?
were definitely on different paths for
Yeah.
sure, you know, and
We
I
were
think
good friends, and we tried to make it more.
I
I
think you're
tried to make
both
it more.
yeah, I think you're both better, you know, not together, obviously.
For
But
sure.
yeah,
I wish nothing but the best for her,
yeah,
and I hope she's
yeah.
made anyway. So
Sorry, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make fun of everything.
No, it's fine. So we get back, you know, I get back into the world of like, okay, what else is out there, you know, besides my head of, you know, spinning wheels. And so Miko came, she's like, here's the book called Spiritual Warrior. I think it was a Dan Millman book, or somebody long time ago. One of the only books I've ever read, to be honest.
Nice.
And it was like, you know, it was just a really good like book to like go out and seek your adventure. So I was like, okay. And then coincidentally at that time, our other friend Nick, he was in Kauai, and he was like, hey bro, you've done construction before, right? I'm like, yeah. It's like, do you want to help me remodel this house out here? It's like, fuck yeah.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Get me out.
That's
you know?
right. I
So,
remember
yeah.
when you went to Colorado.
No, it was
Oh,
Colorado.
sorry.
That was Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Colorado was before that, when we were like 19 or something.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
So I had
my memories.
Yeah, you're
great.
a little fuzzy. So I had a little
I don't even
construction
remember going to
background.
Colorado. So
Yeah,
you're
well, it wasn't long because it got cold. So anyway, so I spent some time out there, and I really loved it. But there was this at the time, like my wife now, we were just kind of like dating and like figuring out if we were going to work or not, you know, work it out. And then I just had this feeling like, you know what, I want to go back, and I wanted to finish massage school at the time. I took some time off massage school, and I was like, I gotta finish something, you know, like I had that like start a massage school, I gotta finish it. This is like what I meant to do, you know, as far as what I felt I was meant to do was massage. So I got into that, and then um yeah. So then after that, what else? I lost my train of thought. No, I'm not high.
back to
Um, so anyway, so I came back here, got into that whole world, and then in 2014, had this incident with this student, and he was like, "Dude, what are you doing? You know, like you need to be making money. Like this isn't the only
So
thing."
one of your students in this community where you were teaching,
Right.
was the one that asked you.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, I just paid a bunch of money for this.
He and his wife had paid a shit ton of money to come down.
And you're not even getting as
Right.
much as what this one guy.
Right.
So, okay, was this also the same stuff that you guys were asking me to translate to Spanish at one point?
Oh shit. Bringing him in.
No, but you never gave it to me. You guys were like wanting me to translate stuff.
That was so we've since then we've started our own aromatherapy company.
Okay.
And it was the aromatherapy art contest, which we're still working on all these things. So
yeah,
we haven't forgotten about it, but we're still working on it.
ChatGPT did. Come over and we'll finish it all.
I know, right?
We'll finish it all in like 30 minutes.
Right.
I'm not kidding.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So we
no. It's your upper lip, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so then we were in it for a while, like, you know, so my heart was half in and half out since like 2014, and then like in 2021 or whatever, during the middle of the pandemic time, we got a phone call. Somebody was saying like, hey, beware, basically, like, beware.
So do you think that, I mean, okay, so when I think of a cult, I usually am thinking of like, you know, it's hard for people to get out of.
Right.
Were there things that were holding you in there? Like, you know, like maybe I'll get sued for this, but you know, like, you know, there's, I'm not, maybe I shouldn't say this, but, you know, like in the Church of Scientology, right? There's stories of people that, you know, they go through the process and they record these sessions where people are telling their innermost thoughts. And so it's like, you know, I mean, that I'm not saying that's what happens. I don't know. I'm just saying that's the rumor, right? They say that. And it's like, you know, these people can't get out of it because, you know, they're like, I can blackmail you, you know, like,
right.
Was there anything like that? I mean, was there anything that held you in it?
Yeah. I mean, primarily, Lemmy, my wife, she was still really in it and believing and trusting, I guess is the best way, trusting. And so the control aspect came from, you know, the slight words that are typical in cults of like, this person is the only person that will ever know or communicate with divine.
So it's like a prophet. Yeah.
This person is the only person that can see you clearly. You know, you don't even have to say anything, and he knows exactly what you're talking about and thinking about, whatever.
You're talking about me?
You know, like just the little things. And then so the loss was of friends in that community, quote unquote friends, because
Okay.
they were only friends contingent upon us being within that community.
Yeah.
So therefore they're not real friends.
Yeah.
Right. So we had, you know, quote unquote hundreds of friends in that world, and only like 5 still talk to us because
Yeah.
they've left. Right.
Interesting.
So that's the only, like, and so if people are like,
If you're exiled, ostracized.
if people reach out, and people, you know, once in a while they reach out and say, hey, how's it going? Da, 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 da. We're like, going good. Can't really talk if you're still a part of that group anymore.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, have a nice life, you know? So that's where I see like this cult dynamic where like you can't
you're either in or you're out.
you can't be friends with somebody because they're not into what you're into, which is every, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like having left the Mormon church, like obviously I have a lot of friends that also left that, I mean, like, dude, we get each other, right? Like on a certain level. And then I do have a lot of friends that are still in it. I don't like, they still want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
You know, they're still down, but obviously we're not in the same circles. It's definitely different.
Right.
I mean, it's not like they want to hang out with me more. I feel more like I don't want to be around them as much because I don't know. It's part of it is like triggering to me. And part of it also is like, you know, I don't want to do or say anything that's going to also like offend them or like, you know, like, cause I don't,
their face.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, yeah, but I don't like, I respect the fact that they're in it and they believe it. And I don't want to like try and ruin that or anything. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to get into those uncomfortable conversations where they try to ask me stuff, you know, and
Do you think they want to try to get you back in, or there's just,
well, I mean,
reaching out?
I know from a Mormon church standpoint that they're, you know, I mean, dude, we had meetings, and it was like, we need to bring back people that had left.
Totally.
And, you know, there was all of that. And so I was part of those things, and I know they're in part of those meetings still, you know, and they're like, how do we bring these people back, you know? And I'm just like, dude, cause if I get into those conversations, I'm going to have to say things, you know, and I would rather just not do it, you know, like go figure it out on. Now, if you come to me and say, hey dude, I'm like, got some questions here. I really, you know, I know you left. I'm curious why you did. Then I'll tell them. But I hung out with a girl, years ago, right when I was leaving the church for me. And she grew up Jehovah's Witness, and she, like, her parents wouldn't even talk to her.
Yeah.
So like she made a decision to leave, and they had like a farewell for her.
Yeah.
Like everybody said goodbye. Her family, her mom and her dad, her grandparents, like they had a farewell, dude. And it's like, and now she like, we were hanging out and she's like, yeah, dude, if I saw my mom or dad right now, like at the restaurant or something, they wouldn't even look at her.
Right.
They wouldn't even acknowledge that she's there.
Right.
Well, that's like freaking.
That's gnarly.
Demetrius is the same boat.
Totally.
His family got, you know, the boot. But I got a question for both of you guys, because, you know, it's saying if you have people that are still Mormons, people that are still part of that community, reaching out to you guys, when you were part of those communities, how held back were you in conversations with them? Or were you guys all in and just so on the same page that you weren't having other conversations, as opposed to now you're on the other side, right? And you know what that conversation is going to lead into. So it's like, is it even going to be worth their time, your effort, that kind of crap? Because I'm not comparing myself to when I was in my active addiction to being in a religion or anything like that, but guaranteed that there were only one type, or, you know, a few types of conversations I would have with those people that I hung out with. I have no fucking interest at all in going down that path unless someone wanted help. So like, that's kind of what I'm hearing from you guys is, I would entertain that if like, hey, Scott, like, you know, what were you going through before you actually decided to see if like, is that where I'm at? And like with you, hey, how easy was that to turn off? You know, because when Busby asked you, was there anything holding you back? Was it simply like a decision that you only had to make, or was there repeated efforts to pull you back in right away?
There were a few, I would say there's a few things, but here's the thing is that because we weren't like we didn't have money, right? So the people that they targeted,
Contributor shit.
were, people that own huge successful corporations, and I won't name them because it'll be very obvious their connection, but like gigantic nationwide, actually, I think international, like community, like
Corporation.
big corporation that those people, they were like trying to get in. And like, I remember at this one meeting in that 2014, there was a big, we were on the team, whatever, the team, even though we were like, we called there was like the 12, we called them the disciples, and then everybody else. Because like the tight group, they were the ones
As the board of
pulled all
directors.
they pulled all the punches.
Yeah.
And so we got this phone call sitting in Mexico, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, they moved to this facility that was super expensive and they needed to make like 60 grand. All right, let's come up with the training overnight. I don't care what it is. Let's just come up with the training and sell it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
That was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What kind of shit is this?
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool.
Well, I just did the numbers in my head of what you were saying, those trainings you did, and they paid, maybe a couple grand to put you up,
right.
and they made like 6 figures from that.
There were, I would say there were a good 5 or 6 teachers like us, but those other teachers, they're like the chosen ones, so to speak, we used to laugh at, but like they have trouble making their rent and they don't get paid, but they're staying because they're like, our teacher, he's going to protect us and he's going to.
That's what the draw was,
right.
is you, because I mean,
you serve.
Yeah.
The
so like,
world.
So like when you think about like, going into service, like a multi-level marketing thing, like totally. Amway or something like that, totally.
I sat through that.
Yeah, dude. I know, bro. I was drawn to a few of those back in the day. They're ridiculous, but there's an end goal, right? It's like, right. I'm doing this because I know that I'll get to this certain level.
Right.
And it sounds like they never had anything like that.
There was no level. Well, the level was the dangling the carrot at a lecture. Hey, we're talking about this. May have said it 15 times before, but the line is, I've said this before, but you still need to hear it. And it's like the same information being given almost every time at every lecture. Oh, the next lecture is going to be even more, and the next training is going to be even more, and the next training you're going to get, and this one you're really going to know the secrets, and this one, and like every training was like, no, this is the real, no, this is no.
So is it like a religious philosophy?
It was emergence of like that's not like cherry picking. Like this person cherry picked
philosophies from
5 different religions and backgrounds, took everything, whether it's movement, breath, prayer, sound, all that stuff, and it's all legitimate. Like there's scientific study on all these things, how they do help the body. It's like, I got into it because as an ex-athlete, I was like, I just want to stay fit and healthy and be limber my whole life, and at 47, I'm just as fit and I weigh the same as I did graduating high school. So and I've gone up and down a little bit here and there, but like at this point, I still feel pretty strong and flexible, and I can't maybe lift as much or do as much, but at least I have mobility and function as compared to other people around our age that are like severely obese or severely having a chronic disease or whatever. And thank God, whatever that is, I don't have that. But my whole goal has always been to take care of the physical health body, the mental health, and then be kind. That's the whole, for me, that's the whole recipe. It's like, take care of yourself, take care of your mind, help other people if you can.
Well, I think you should really put together your own program and take advantage of other people.
Make 3
so that they can have their own awakening, bro. So they can have their own dude awakening.
Yeah. We got into the essential oil world and learned about all those kind of multi-level marketing. And so we're doing a branch of that where we teach people how to work with essential oils, and we sprinkle some of that stuff within it. It's not full heavy yoga world, but
that was the Arizona house, right?
Which one?
Or in New Mexico?
Sedona.
What was it?
What?
Yeah. You guys were living in that house in Arizona.
Yeah.
And you were making all those oils.
We were working for a small company out there.
Yeah.
And then we came back, learned some shit about them out there, and then we moved back home because we were like, screw this, these people are just as fucking wacky as anybody else.
I remember that.
So then we were like, let's just do it ourselves, because we trust the plants as like a form of help, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to use the M word, but M word.
Yeah.
M as in Mary. So anyway,
Is there another N word or something? I don't know.
Nico.
Yeah.
nada,
Yeah.
Okay.
nada cuñada.
But genuine question now, the happiest you ever felt when you're in that community compared to the happiest you've ever felt outside of that community? Are they like night and day?
Yeah, it is. And at the same time, like when I was in the community, I always felt like I kind of had one step out because I was like, it was, look, I've been smoking weed for a long time. Whoever hears this, like, whatever. Been smoking weed since like 20 or whatever, maybe earlier.
No, I think the first time was
18.
when you were 18.
18. Well,
Yeah, that's
no,
when-
17 with Ron.
yeah,
Luis.
yeah,
I said sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll edit that one.
Sorry.
Ron, Luis, and John. I was playing football that year in the summer, and then we went to a Tom Petty concert.
Nice.
And an old man was sitting there.
Wait, I was there.
No, you weren't. It was
Brett?
It was Brett too. It was Brett, John, Luis, Ron, and me. So anyway, we went up there, and this old timer was just sitting next to us, and he was just like, "Here," and I was like,
Take a puff.
Shit, I'm a fucking Tom Petty concert.
Here.
Might as well,
Try
And
this.
So happy you're out
So-
of the
so
community.
Luis
But how
and I,
about
yeah.
you? 'Cause you were so gung ho.
I was. I for sure
I
was.
don't want to say that like I sat there and tolerated it. Like, all right, hurry up, fucking Busby, shut the fuck up.
Right.
But like, I was interested and curious, and not listening to interrupt. Right when you were telling me about being a Mormon, it
Yeah.
was more like listening to understand. And I still had questions of things, and I don't really want to get into it because you don't think that way anymore. So it really doesn't matter.
I mean, even looking back on that time, I'm like,
But you're still,
I really believe that.
you
Like, I don't
believed
feel.
a lot of things, and
Sure.
and you had a genuine smile, and you didn't mean anyone any harm. I know you had your agenda and pitch,
So
and stuff like that, but you still didn't judge people,
yeah. So
and you're fun to be around still.
yeah. I mean, I
Really?
never. I even through that, I don't think I ever changed like as a person. What I did change, but I still had the same smart ass sense of
Yeah.
humor. Maybe
Tried to clean it up.
yeah, maybe it was cleaned up. It was dialed down a
Yeah,
little bit, but it was still the same there.
Totally.
I look back when I was a missionary, and dude, that 2 years of my life, I didn't have to think about I didn't have to think about how to pay my bills,
Right.
or I didn't have like homework assignments that were due. I didn't have to worry about myself so much.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, yeah, there's aspects of the church that I love, and there's aspects of the church that I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
But I think the general principles of life ring true no matter what the catalyst is for that.
Yeah.
So when I was a missionary, my whole every day was dedicated to serving other people. Right. And yeah, maybe that's me teaching them about, what I thought was the true gospel of Jesus Christ. But
Right.
but part of it too was giving service, like just constantly looking for opportunities to help people, to teach people, to uplift people, to do something nice for them. And so, I mean, I believe that to this day, if you're constantly focused on doing those things, you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And so I was really happy, for sure. Now afterwards, I don't know if we went into a ton of why I left, but
No, we didn't get into
afterwards, the Mormon church has, well, I don't know if they do this now. It's like, I haven't been to church in over a decade, but
They didn't dangle like, hey, Scott, if you stay, we got 3 wives.
no, dude, I couldn't even find one there.
Yeah.
But that was part of it, right? Is I was like, you guys knew me before, and there was still that part of me that's like, dude, I understand what it's like outside of this place,
Right.
And I still was friends with you guys. I never was like, hey, I don't want to be your friends.
Right.
I thought that about you a few times, Nick, but
for different reasons.
Yeah.
I was never
But-
Mormon.
But I mean,
I'm
for me, dating Mormon girls was really hard. Also because I never felt like I was worthy. I never felt like I was good enough.
In their eyes
And-
or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, it was probably more me. It was probably in my own head, but the church and that was definitely my own problem. You know, I don't think the church, well, partially caused it, but exacerbated it for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And so, do I sound really loud, by the way?
No, you're just annoying.
Thanks, bro. It exacerbated that for me. Right.
Can we pause real quick?
Yeah. You
Cool.
gotta pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
We're
just
gonna
we're
keep-
gonna talk bad about you.
We're gonna definitely keep talking and recording because we can edit it out. But I gotta do something about the lighting. I think your guys' lighting is good. I think mine is way too dark.
See, that's how it looked on the. So flip-flop that last time. Last time you had good lighting, and I felt like I was a little bit dark, not just because I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, I was gonna do. This is a good one. I was thinking about the. Well, we'll wait for Bowser to
No,
get back.
you can insult me without him around. That'd be
Okay.
great.
I never like. I know your last name is Spanish, but I never saw you as a Mexican. I smelled you as one, but I never saw you as a Mexican. Like, what's that tamale smell coming?
Fucking dick, dude. I just walk around with masa in my pocket, bro. That's fucking wild.
Oh, dude.
No, but you know what? I that is one thing though. Like culturally, like you go into some people's houses and it always smells like Mexican food. It always smells like Indian food.
Yeah.
White people just don't fucking have that. You walk into an Italian's house, it smells like fucking Italian food.
Yeah.
It's just like that's there.
It's their BO, dude.
It's not their BO. It's because they're like Italians got like garlic just fucking stuck. in
Yeah,
the ceiling
yeah,
for so long.
Yeah. Well, that you know, you think about that too. I mean, Western culture. You know, I mean, I don't know. My mom didn't cook all day long,
Right.
right? And most white people don't. I mean, Americans, maybe in other countries, you know, where like you know have traditions like that, but I mean, most white families aren't like. I mean, like in the Dominican Republic.
They're cooking at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon for dinner.
No, the women are like cleaning in the morning, dude. They're like, you know, they're literally cleaning the whole house first thing in the morning because a lot of them didn't have windows and stuff. The dust and the street wasn't even paved in front of their house, and you know they would sweep. They would like throw buckets of water on the concrete walls and clean everything, and they would then they would hose off the street in front of them, the dirt road in front of them, so that the wind wouldn't bring in more dust, into their home. And then they would just like they would go start cooking lunch, and like they were cooking all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you see, so we're talking about how
started off with him making fun of me. He didn't see me as a Mexican. He just smelt me as one. And then we started talking about food and shit. So, yeah.
I was gonna try and save that for you, Pals, but
I was like, no,
yeah, dude. So I, I was just he was saying that white people, we don't have like a smell in our home, but like Italians and Indians and these other people have a distinct smell in their home. And I said it was BO, but he's like, no, dude, they like are cooking and they have food, and it's like. And that's why I brought up the Dominican Republic. Yeah. So
that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
He's like, you smell like tamales.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it was.
It's funny. There's an essence that we have. It's a petitgreen. All the petitgreens are like the leaves and the branches and sometimes the flower of the citrus trees that get trimmed.
Nice.
And it smells to me. It's like walking through, Ensenada when I was a kid with my grandparents, walking by the tortilla shops.
Oh, dude,
It's
so good.
It's so good. I put it on. I'm like,
bro.
Like heaven.
So I lived with a Mexican family in the city of Querétaro for a month, and it was the summer. Well, it was my last 2 classes of college. I did a semester abroad, so it was a year after I got back from the Dominican Republic, and I did it through the Chicano Studies department at UC Santa Barbara. And so I did the graduation ceremony, but then I still had to do this summer session. Yeah. But it was a month long. Anyways, I lived with a family down there, greatest family, La Familia Galindo,
Nice.
And dude. Like, bro, I mean, the fresh tortillas every day that are warm and soft. Yeah. It's like, like corn tortillas here, they're okay.
No, they're not.
they're okay.
They're good to make a casserole out of.
Sure. Yeah, that's the white people Mexican food. Yeah,
I
but
know what you're talking about. Dude. My Nina, man, she would make every morning homemade
so good.
flour tortillas. And it was funny because when I was little, and this is how I thought of it. Remember the Folgers Christmas commercial?
Yeah.
I was like, whatever coming home.
The best
Yeah.
part of waking up.
Yeah.
You got to pay them now.
No, they got to pay us. That's how my Nina, godmother, Busby knows that one. That's how her house smelled every freaking morning, and I loved it. So she lived next door to my dad, and I would just always fucking stay over there. My dad was out. Chicks and shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that smell. There's nothing better, honestly, to walk into or be around as homemade flour tortillas. So
yeah. Well, I like homemade flour tortillas. They're delicious, especially the ones that they have at El Torito Grill. El Torito Grill. There's the one in Irvine. Anyways,
I've been to it.
Dude, those ones, and they have like a honey butter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's like a dessert. But no, they had corn down there, dude. And the corn ones were like, I don't like corn. I mean, they're like, but the legit ones
are
so good, dude.
So
and a taco in that is just so good. And just all of the homemade food they made every day. Even the sandwiches she made on white bread were so basic, but so good, dude. And she would put like pickled
and jelly.
She put like pickled jalapenos and like some ham and a little bit of mayo and some cheese, dude. And I'm like, this thing is amazing. It's so good. But yeah, the food, in Italy too, the food is just so amazing. And yeah, I mean, you have a point, but we don't really have distinct smells also because most American food, unless you're talking about barbecue or something like that,
But that came about until like the night. I was just watching something about that. That was a product of post World War II. That didn't really come into effect because no one barbecuing was seen as like a poor man's way to cook.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until Henry Ford created this the briquette basically from his old lumber, the old sawdust, and they took somebody else's whatever made it together. But it was like it had to be like pushed on people until the Weber grill was invented. Then it really caught off, and that guy invented it.
I love how we went from cult to food.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
I can change subjects again really quick because speaking about smells.
Uh-oh.
I was so I think about weird things. You guys know that, right? That's hence being a comedian. But I was taking Baxter, my dog, for a walk yesterday, and dude, we go on the same walk every day. We go down to the beach, go across over to the pier, and then up to El Camino Real and back. It's about 2 miles. But he, at very specific points, he will stop and won't let me keep pulling him. Like he'll just be like, "No, dude, I need to sniff these."
Yeah.
And I was in
he's getting loaded.
I know. Well, yeah, and I know sometimes I'll be in a hurry, because I need to get it done because I got to work or do something, and I'm like, "Come on, dude!" But I know that part of he I've read that them smelling stuff is reading a
novel.
Yes, it's
for sure.
They have such a stronger sense of smell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if he smells things and then meets a dog and sniffs their butthole and is like, "Oh, I've smelled you around here.
100%.
I recognize you."
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that if you compare, imagine if humans had that kind of smell. What
I'm not smelling your butt.
What would your smell be? Mine.
What's your essence?
No, mine would be regret. just 95% regret, and 5%. Yeah, I'd probably do that again. But what would be, what kinds of things could you learn about people if we had, oh, you got some nasty STDs up in there.
Oh yeah, you're kind of good. You're eating too much fast food, something like that.
But they say that even dogs can smell cancer and I mean just crazy stuff, right? And anyways, I
think that there's definitely a way that smells make an impact on us, right? We were just talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of shit. But I can tell you right now, and not in a weird way, but like my kids have an individual smell.
Of course.
Like I can tell, like, fuck, dude, yeah, Mason was wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
You know, or he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, this go ahead.
No, but just like with animals, times that by like 1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking thing.
Well, even humans, like we've, you know, looking at the evolutionary side of life, you know, we evolved from being lower to the ground, nose to the ground, smelling, rooting, seeing things, seeing colors, seeing fruit, seeing stuff. And then we've risen up, whatever this upright structure that we are. But they say when you're clear and you know, like, meaning not intoxicated or whatever, and you smell another person's smell, if you're attracted to it, there's a good chance that, like, so they say, like, the theory is like you find your partner by scent. So like if women or men that wear gnarly colognes, like that's gonna throw off that natural scent. So that's why there's like a lot of disharmonies, because people are wearing so much fake or altered stuff, which affects the glandular system as well. All those fake chemicals. That's why in the aromatherapy world, we focus on just pure stuff. There's nothing synthetic, nothing added. So it's like, if you want to smell like something, then you wear it. But if we've had this so many times where a woman's like, oh, I want to buy something for my husband because he doesn't like this or doesn't like that, and I want him to smell like this. It's like, you shouldn't be picking out, like, you shouldn't say, here, you need to smell like this to your person, because you fell in love with that person because of the way that they smell.
You
now
know,
you need to wear this, you know.
You know, if a woman is attracted to my unmasked aroma,
musk,
I don't.
It's a thing.
There's probably something wrong with her, bro. I'm probably not into that. I don't know, man. Because I think it's kind of, my pits, dude, get rank after.
That's because of what we put into our body.
Yes, that's not your body.
Yeah. So if you put in a cocktail or whatever, you're gonna have to get rid of that some way. Some of it goes out of our elimination system, but a lot of it comes out of our sweat glands. So you either pee it out, poop it out, or sweat it out.
I'm all right. It smells like a new shirt.
Mm-hmm. It smells like a redundant shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so smell, scent, it's key, and that's why, like you said, you know, the memory of it, like the nose is the only organ that goes directly to our brain center, and so we can. If you smell something like I did, you know, like it smells like tortilla when I was walking in Ensenada, like
it takes you right back to it.
That's the power of our nose.
Yeah.
So like we have to, like, there's an old saying, like, you gotta, the nose knows, you know, like you have to trust it. And if they say, if you walk into a restaurant and it's like putrid or you don't like the smell, turn around, don't eat there, because something's going on in that restaurant that's not for you.
What about your friends' houses?
You have to have a little more tact with that one.
Okay.
Buzz, we got something to tell you.
No, I'm just kidding. Candles, bro.
Dude,
you need to smell like this.
No, I heard candles are bad for you, but candles is
scented candles. Anything that's a chemically derived scent, meaning like it's been, so there's plants, and plants cannot be patented, right? So chemists now isolate scent.
Seeds can. Genetically modified.
If they're genetically modified, only if they've been genetically modified.
So I can burn a lavender candle,
which is chemically changing them, right? So if you want to, like, people that make their own candles that use their own real stuff, like we've kind of done a little bit, but like you get your beeswax or whatever you want to use, and you put your oil in there. That's one thing, because it's a plant steam distilled product. But a lot of these big companies, all the big giant guys, they're using chemicals from the lab that they smell like it, but they're not that chemical. They're not that.
But even like burning the wax isn't that produce toxins that you're breathing in? You know,
compared to what? I mean, that's
outside.
If you're burning a paraffin wax, that's more toxic. Soy and beeswax is the best. Soy is the second best, and then everything else is going to be chemically altering in the environment.
Soy wax?
Soy wax.
Is that just like regular wax that speaks Spanish? Hola, soy wax.
Yo. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Soy wax.
Soy wax.
Ah, mucho gusto, wax. Yo soy Scott. Oh, dude.
You're a dork.
I know I'm a dork.
So anyway.
Well, I tell you what, guys, we're at the 90-minute mark right now.
Ooh, that went by.
I know, didn't it?
Wow.
It did. So, I mean, we could probably talk about a lot more things, but, you know,
I think that he's going to be someone that will
Yeah, I would. Yes, absolutely.
This sit down, because we have too many stories that could
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
3-hour type of sit down.
Yeah.
Surfaced.
Yeah.
Um,
I think, you know, one, I've got my work cut out for me because I got to be the guy that edits these things.
Yeah.
We
I
gotta.
don't know if I trust you.
We gotta start it. We gotta start a podcast cult and get people to work for us for free, dude.
It's just called a business.
Oh,
It's a business.
okay. Well,
That's
no,
all.
but you gotta pay people. So that's why I want to do internships.
Yeah.
Anybody want an internship that we don't pay you, but you get to hang out with us?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Dude Awakening.
Yeah.
Job opening.
Yeah. I do want to bring Lemia in here, and I want to, you know, talk about my chakra. Not this chakra, but my chakra, and I want to learn how to clear my chakra, and you know, I would love to talk to you guys about different breathing stuff. I do
Not breeding stuff.
no, yeah, I want to do like a live, you know,
Some of that Mormon left thing under.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit of that Mormon left.
yeah,
You got some breeding to do. Let me borrow your wife, bro.
breathing, respirando. You know, I do every day, well, almost every day. I mean, 9 out of 10 days. I do a Wim Hof style breathing.
Yeah, I remember you running that.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just makes me feel better. There's like in the moment, like I don't know if I would like to do some research on it. I would like to learn. I know you are familiar with some other breathing styles. I would love to talk sometime about, you know, what are these different breathing styles, and what, you know, are supposedly the benefits, and also I started listening. So I've been doing meditation with sounds. And I found a website where they have like a whole like 60-day thing where you go through different tracks. You know, they're like, hey, do track 1 for 3 days, and then track 2 for 3 days, and then track 3 for 3 days. And the sound waves, the frequencies change. And the whole purpose of it is, you know, really kind of like quieting the chatter in your head, and, you know, going from the, what is it, like the delta to, and that, like, yeah, like just, and then going from, I don't know if it's alpha to theta or what, whatever that is, but
progression. Yeah.
But, you know, I started doing that, and I can tell you that, like, it's helped me. In fact, I was talking to Nick about it last podcast. Was I'd never realized this about meditation, is it is a practice and it is an exercise, in the sense that my brain, when I'm sitting there, I'll get in a comfortable position. But I noticed this also when I did a few sessions of hypnotherapy, and it was hard for me to be hypnotized or to get into that hypnotic state, because my mind is so busy, dude. And like, I'm thinking about things. I'm thinking about this is going on. And that is not good for someone that has, you know, it's not called retarded, but it is called, like, you know, it's, what did my therapist call it? Poor executive functioning.
Yeah.
But it's my ability to focus on things, and to, you know, organize things, and to, you know, go through tasks. And I mean, just all that stuff. 'Cause it's like, I'm thinking about so many different things at once, and I can like analyze things really fast, and like take in that information, but it's overwhelming. So doing these like that's been one of my struggles with going through comedy is, I mean, that voice in my head keeps coming back, and I get overwhelmed. And like, part of this was, you know, I'm like, I took this stand-up comedy workshop, and I've been studying stand-up comedy from other comics. And, you know, like Jerry Seinfeld would write for hours a day, you know, and he would like analyze just a handful of words, you know, to try and find all of.
Well, do you think that the megahertz thing at week, you said try this for 1 week, try it for a second week, is that helping you?
Yes. So yes, I am. Okay. So, well, I skipped a couple of days, but then I started back up. I've done it every day this week, except for today, but I'll do that later. But yes. And so what I learned from it is also, it's totally getting off topic.
Yeah,
but,
I know. I was helping you out there.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's, yeah. No, but that's, but that's what I'm struggling with, right? Is getting overwhelmed. And so that overwhelming feeling, like quieting all of that chatter.
Yeah.
And then, then being able to start looking at, okay, now how do I break all of this down little by little and just focus on, improvements or living from day to day. And what we had talked about last week is through meditation, I'll be sitting there in the meditation and then I feel like an itch on my nose.
And you can't get away.
Yes. Or my right ankle is uncomfortable, like when I was doing the hypnotherapy, I'm laying there and I was laying on that futon doing, like a video conference with the therapist. And I'm like, oh, my feet are hanging off the bottom of the futon or this, or, I got that going on or something else comes into my head and I'm trying to focus. And that's also whatever you want to call it, ADHD or whatever. But, I like can't quiet this thing. And so doing this meditation, I didn't know that is the whole purpose of it is to sit there and basically it's like kind of, exercising that part of my brain that shuts all that other stuff up.
Yeah.
It's to push it through. And I mean, because I was telling Busby when they say to just do it for like this one meditation that I was doing. I was actually talking to you and Lemmy about it years ago. And then asked her about the megahertz thing that I listened to that activates. There's a different megahertz that activates each individual chakra. And Bowser was like, there's really no accurate science that says like, no, you know what, you need to listen to this frequency to activate that. But it's just like the intention behind it. They're all different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you can focus on those chakras throughout your body. But for like 90 days, I experienced everything that you're talking about, right? But then there'd be like 3 days in a row where I totally checked out and I was like on a different fucking wavelength, parallel universe type of shit for 21 minutes, and it doesn't necessarily need to happen like that every time in a row. It's just that the intention is there and a lot of people give up. A lot of people just go like, oh, I can't meditate. It's like, no. You just gotta, that's just part of the process of meditating.
Yeah.
You're not going to be some freaking
and I
Tibetan monk that's going to be able to pull it off every time.
I find that I beat myself up when I struggle with something like that, and I've been going through this process of learning that, okay, dude, like obviously don't beat yourself up. I could tell myself that a million times, but just saying, just do this and this is what you're going to focus on and just do it. And if I'm not good at it, fine, whatever, but just do it. And I found that by doing that, just focusing on the meditation, it's 23 minutes or whatever. And, there's like this one I'm listening to right now is like birds chirping. And then there's like these different frequencies or whatever. But the first one I did was like waves crashing, and then there's the different frequencies in the background or whatever. But I've found that I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like, oh, I'm on top of the world, but like with writing comedy, I've kind of come, and this is part of my dude awakening right now, just in the last couple of weeks it's going to get cliche saying dude awakening, dude. I'm going to be annoyed with it already.
You're a cliche. It's fine. Do this.
And I found that like the last couple of weeks, I've taken a step back and said, dude, like I beat myself up. Like I'm not, like I need to be like at this point in my trajectory, and I could be here if I could just do this more. And I'm like, bro, I'm a totally different person than everybody else. And like even with my comedy, like my comedy is totally different than everybody else's. Right. And how I look, how I feel, how I act, everything is unique. And so I finally have learned, like, dude, just be me. And so whatever your format for writing, like I try to sit down on the computer and write, and I'm like, I hate it, dude. Cause I'm like, I can't do this. But then, I'll be driving and all these ideas will come in because my mind is off of that.
Right.
And so I finally just stepped back and said, dude, just, don't worry about it, and then just, then I'll be going on a walk and then I'll get all these ideas. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to stop the walk now, because before I was like, okay, well, I got to finish the walk and then I got to get home. Then I got to do this. Then I got to go. Then I got to go. And I'm going to write at my computer for this period of time. And I'm like, dude,
Shut
stop,
up. Yeah.
stop.
You just described me almost every morning for the, not right away when I wake up, but when I'm getting into my truck and driving to work. Like, okay, I got to read all this fucking emails. I got to worry about this. It's like, fuck, dude, it is 6:45 right now.
Yeah.
And you're talking about shit that needs to get done at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Like calm down.
Yeah.
Stay present.
It's gonna be okay.
I have this block in my head that I've had for a long time where, like, even I'd be walking with Baxter and then I'd get this funny idea, and then I wouldn't stop to, like, pull my phone out of my pocket and write down the note in that moment, because I'm like, I have to get home because I needed to go do this other thing too. And I'm like, dude, like, just stop.
Just be present.
You're in the moment. It's coming to you right now.
Yeah.
Take it, take it right now.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing. Let Baxter sniff this bush or whatever.
Yeah.
Pull my phone out, write it down, sit down. Like, it's, and so that has been a super helpful thing for me that I've learned from the meditation. And, but yeah, I'd like to talk more about that kind of stuff. And thank you for keeping me on track.
You're welcome.
Go down.
But do you think Lemmy would be into it? Because my first experience with your wife.
Hey, now.
No, but do you remember I hurt my fucking neck?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, that was my first sober acid trip, if you will. I thought Bowser was giving me a massage because I couldn't even open my fucking eyes. I was in so much pain. Laid out on my living room floor. Told Tara, like, call Josh and get him over here now. And so I thought it was Bowser giving me a massage.
It started. We both were working with you.
Were you?
Yeah.
And then I was fucking out cold. I remember Bowser talking to me. And he's like, focus on the colors that you're seeing. And there's these like dark yeah, bro. I'm so serious. Like, I felt that happen with the colors, right? And it was this dark green to dark blue, dark orange, and it was like that pattern over and over and over again. And it started small and it would just get big, small and get big. And then the next thing I know, I woke up. They had been gone for like 4 fucking hours. Tara's like, yeah, dude, I was out. Josh said to drink this glass of water and go upstairs. And I fucking did that, slept all night, woke up. And I was like, perfect the next day. So you just had to thank him. And he's like, that was actually Lemia.
Just exercise the demon or what?
Dude, it was awesome.
She's got a lot of, she did, she'll get into it later, but she did a lot of studying in Hawaii with the kahuna Auntie Margaret.
The Hakuna Matata?
Yes, the kahuna. She's the first Hawaiian supposedly to share lomi lomi massage with Western folks, whatever, which has some controversy in it, whatever. But she spent time just with her one-on-one, as it turned out. It was supposed to be a big class, but so she's really like, and she had a vision when she was getting a massage that her hands were going to be on somebody doing the same work. So like, it's just a really big, like, it's a trust thing, like trusting that we all have the ability to connect. And like, I was going to say it about the meditation part is that like meditation is anywhere and everywhere you are. And that's like people like philosophers like Alan Watts and that kind of like, not so much religious or dogma belief about how to do a meditation or how to do a prayer, but it's like being present is the biggest prayer of life. It's like, if you need to be with your dog taking that poo or smelling, that's the meditation, is like being, and I get caught up in that. Come on, Leo, let's go. We got stuff to do. Like everybody gets caught up in the rat race of like, I got to schedule, I got to do this.
Yeah.
But it, like, when we can really give ourselves that time to just be present, and this is the moment of like those aha moments of like, oh, here's the idea that I just got. And then you write it down, or voice memo or whatever it is. But like, to be present and to have that connection of heart and trust and love. And like, she loved you through me because like she knew how connected we were. And she was just like, love, like that's like her main prayer when she does massage or any body work, is just like love and light. And like she steps out of the way and it's all like that light channel, like whatever you want to call that light, so yeah, it's a powerful thing. And that's how it is. She just has her intention.
It
And
was fucking rad.
Well, I want to clear my chakra because I think my chakras are pretty filthy.
Well, to quickly on that, like the hurts and all this thing, like there's kind of a theory now, or a philosophy, like that's kind of all bullshit made up for the West, just to kind of appease the Western mind that's so like, I have to know X, Y, and Z things. And like in India, they're like, we're just fucking meditating.
Yeah.
Like we're not caring about what frequency or what, like we played music, and this sitar player of ours, he's from India, but grew up in South Africa. And he's like, we were talking one day, like when the 432 hertz came really popular, like 10 years ago, at least in our circle, he was like, one of the bass players was like, hey, we should tune to 432. And he's like, no. And he's like 60 something at this point. He's a much older guy than all of us. And we kind of looked into this, like, wise sage guy. And he was like, dude, you play music together. There's no 440, 432. It's nothing's better or worse than the other. It's when you play music, you play from your heart, and that's the vibration. So whether it's playing music, listening to music, singing, talking, humming, walking, whatever that vibration is, if you can audibilize it, great. If you can feel it, great. Whatever it is, but like being present and not worrying about like, well, am I listening to 432 today, or am I listening to 790 today, or is this a solfeggio of Pop Rose candy?
Just a
Solfeggio.
But it's being present for that moment is the true connection. It's like connection no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's the humanness, right? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I want to get Lemmy in here because also she told me last time or one time, I don't know. I think I talked to you guys about doing a podcast before.
Yeah.
And I talked about having you on, and we were talking about like extraterrestrials, and
said
that you guys saw some stuff when you were in Sedona, and she told me that if I cleared my chakra, then I could see them.
She didn't say that.
Yeah, she did.
No,
yes, she did.
No,
she said
she was probably pulling your.
Yeah, well, now she's got to deliver.
We'll get him.
Now she's got to deliver, dude. She's got to clear this chakra because I want to see some fucking aliens.
Join the club.
He
hasn't seen him
because my chakra's filthy and I don't even know how to get to it, let alone clean it.
Anyway, yeah,
I don't even know where it is.
Again, with Bowser's definitely more knowledgeable and educated on some of that stuff, whether it's bullshit or not. And
right.
And again, it makes more sense to me. Are you saying like the and the frequency or whatever you're listening to, the megahertz that you're listening to, isn't there? When you're focusing on that chakra in a meditation, like some will feel, for me, in my experiences, like it felt heavier, but we were told to, all right, this is what color you need to focus on with the chakra, and here and here.
Yeah.
And the ball, I don't know what chakra is in your chest.
They're all, the chakra is like a spinning disc or a spinning wheel of energy. So that they like from the Sanskrit, it's like spinning disc that creates energy. And if it's not spinning, it's stuck. Like if people have like in AA stuff in that the addiction world, it's like there's like they have a stuck root chakra or a stuck sexual chakra. It's like stuck lower.
Right.
So like how to break that up and help it rise to the heart and then to the higher consciousness.
So mine was somewhere here.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a woman conducting this clearing of chakra. Those are my words. All right. That's not really what it was. And I'm sitting there in a chair, totally comfortable. And it was in part of my chakras that didn't look in color bright and shiny. It like needed some cleaning. Mm-hmm. And just sitting there, eyes shut. And all of a sudden I moved over one direction and I opened my eyes, and she said that she had cleared wherever she didn't know, right? But she was clearing this, clearing that. And when she went right around here is when I actually fucking moved. It was the weirdest shit. And I was
eyes closed or what?
My eyes were totally fucking closed.
Wow.
I had no idea she was standing in front of me at all. And it was a little scary, Yeah. And I was completely sober. This was about 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Anyway, so I believe in all of that to a certain extent. Like, do we have the full understanding of it? No, I don't. definitely believe in energies because it's really weird how sometimes I'll be thinking about you guys or stocks and you hit me up in a text message or you guys fucking call me. It's crazy shit.
Well, that's where like they say, you know, we all have that telepathy built into us. However, because of these modern day devices that put out frequency as well, there is legitimacies. Is thank you.
Easy for me to say.
I know, right? ROADs. But no, there is a thing to that where you get stuck, and then sometimes you need help, and whether that's putting your head through a window, or losing something that you love dearly, or you know whatever it may be, but like something, some vibration, some force, some energy gets us all at different points and says, "Are you sure you want to be doing this? Are you sure this is the right way?" You know, look at yourself a little differently. You know, and that's what I think it is as we grow, we just need to be able and willing to change to a certain degree, not change who we are as like, you know, your core, but like maybe certain beliefs, or like we were talking about in the beginning, like, God, I don't know how many times we called the little shrimp back in the day and did some stupid prank call, you know, and it's like,
I know,
you know, like
we were such dicks.
Yeah, but that was
how did you guys know
80s,
the number of Little Shrimp when you were little kids?
It's 4944111, dude.
God, you remember that shit?
Yes, we called it so often, dude. It was so uncool.
It was so uncool.
Yeah, I mean, just calling the one gay bar and like that we knew, and also that name was asking for it. But
sure.
Anyways,
no, anyway, so it's you know, we have to be able to evolve, right? Eventually, you either evolve or die. That's the whole Darwin thing, right?
Yeah. Well,
anyways,
this has been fun, you guys.
Cool.
Thanks for coming and joining us, pals. We can.
Time.
You don't have to take off, but we've been here for like 2 hours, so
yeah. Well, he's my ride right now.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna wrap this up. This is episode 2 of Dude Awakening. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you,
and
Scott Marvin,
and my co-host
Nicholas Alphonse.
And hey, go on to Tease Me Daddy Shirt Co.
and get to
and buy some shirts. And yeah, dude, I gotta. Well, I'll turn this off, but I'll show you my
collection.
Jesus is my landscaper.
You showed me that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna get that one next. So, anyways, signing off. Thanks, you guys.
Peace.